Life is all about these little moments that we share with other people. And yes, sometimes it can be filled with action and excitement, but even for legendary heroes, most of life is actually filled with uneventful, quiet, mundane moments. We can see this when our characters are adventuring around the world, and the most enjoyable part of Frieren isn't when they are fighting monsters, but it's when we get to explore Frieren's past, or when we get to see these characters create brand new memories.
I'll go on this adventure and return with stories just like the ones he told me.
And these kinds of little moments matter, because they will become core memories, things that people will appreciate and remember fondly when they look back with nostalgia. But before we can dive too deep into the story, let's talk more about what, and most importantly, who Frieren is. Frieren is basically a level 20 mage with a staff of power, and the story starts off right after the heroes have already won. It's like exploring what happens after the epilogue in The Lord of the Ring, what happens to a D&D party when the big bad is already defeated. Because unlike a lot of fantasy shows that try to do the story after the adventure using subversion, Frieren instead explores the story beyond Journey's End with the most genuine sincerity. And I think that's why Frieren feels so special for so many people, myself included, because it casually puts us in Frieren's point of view, where we get to see how she experiences her friends suddenly growing old and leaving her behind.
Frieren, the life that lies ahead of you will be far longer than the rest of us could know, or that we could begin to comprehend.
There is a saying, time is like a river, you can't touch the same water twice, because the flow that has passed will never pass again. You have to enjoy every moment of your life. And every moment is important, even the boring ones.
Down, down, down by the river.
I'd like to retrace the adventures I had with Himmel and the others, before all signs of it fade.
The show completely understands how to recreate and capture that exact melancholic feeling of remembering the simpler moments in life again and again, and it never feels forced. It feels entirely natural, and it's that genuineness in exploring its themes that makes it stand out. Every single moment feels purposeful, every single flashback has a point, because every time a character reminisces on something, it shows us exactly what they're feeling in the moment with the most human emotion possible. The definition of show, don't tell. Sometimes a single episode of Frieren has more flashbacks than Naruto, but not a single second feels wasted, because it doesn't just put a flashback of a character being sad in the middle of a fight. It does jump around in time a lot, because a lot of time has taken place. We are working with 1000 years of memory. When we are shown a flashback, it's usually from the perspective of Frieren, of how she remembered it. And as we return to the present, we are treated to seeing how remembering that silly little memory in her long life brings her a bit of joy as we see her slight smile, because even if it was only a droplet in a sea of memories, that droplet has become an important part of who she is right now. And in the first few minutes, we quickly learn from these montages that Frieren experiences time completely differently, even without Heiter saying it to the audience.
The way elves see this world is a mystery.
Who knows how long she's been a part of it by now?
In her eyes, 50 or even 100 years must look like a trifling thing.
The way you feel or breathe after me, and the way I should go for my life. I swear to go wherever we'll be, 'cause there'll be something to see and to find. I don't know the meaning of life, but I know what's truly precious. The way it leads me to the end now, no
We are following the perspective of an immortal elf. In the blink of an eye, 50 decades have passed, but from Frieren's perspective, it was just a flash. A shopkeeper that we see a second ago has already grown old when she revisits the shop. And when Frieren is reunited with Himmel again, in 50 years, he's completely changed. Now a bald old man, but he still has the eyes of a hero. And as Himmel and the party set off on what we as the audience understand as his final adventure, Frieren is still indifferent and inconsiderate with their time by planning a week-long adventure. We as the audience just want to scream out to her that she should cherish every single moment that she has left with these humans. But this is Frieren.
This brings back memories. Traveling together. It transports the soul to a different time. A time when the world was ours to discover. When each mark of life on its surface seems so brilliant and new. As I brush the dust off each memory, there you all appear, right behind my eyes. I have lived my life, waiting for the day that we would be together once more. I thank you, Frieren. It's solely because of you that this retired hero could have one final adventure. Beautiful.
What Frieren does amazingly, better than any other anime, is the art of the montage, because every frame only has a second to leave an impact on the viewer, but put together, it all combines to create a feeling that's more impactful than the sum of its parts. And these montages allow us to visually see and feel the passage of time experienced by Frieren herself, as she isn't ready to process what's happening to the people around her.
In all truthfulness, I hardly knew anything about him. "10 years with him wasn't nearly enough time to learn. I was aware that human lives are short, but this... Why didn't I try to better know and understand you?
Only in the absence of something do we truly feel its loss. Those tears feel so real. We understand her guilt, we understand her regrets. It's something so human, something most of us have felt before. Yet it's something that she's feeling for the very first time, because we are seeing her learn how to be human. It lets us directly into the headspace of Frieren, where years can flash by in seconds, where seasons change, yet she doesn't. Visually communicating how much time has passed and the indifference felt by her. We see the most drastic example when we see the difference between the sapling planted by her master 1,000 years ago growing into a towering tree when she rediscovers it in the present. Something that I don't see get mentioned much is that Heiter's trick actually has another hidden purpose. Yes, he mainly uses this tome to trick Frieren into training Fern, but it does something much more important. He also tricks Frieren to stay, to spend more time with him. Something that she regretted not doing with Himmel. And we see these 5 years of Heiter being happy in his final years.
I'll need at least 5 or 6 years.
Do what you can.
Your only focus before you die should be giving her a proper farewell. and making as many memories as you can.
And after Heiter's death, Frieren doesn't cry like she did for Himmel. Not because they weren't close, because this time there is no guilt. There are no regrets. Because she did spend time getting to know him in those 5 years. With this, Heiter feels like a very caring man to me, because he didn't want Frieren to have any regrets with him. She was tricked into raising Fern, but she was also tricked into spending time with him. And those years taught her how to connect with other people. But she still has regrets regarding Himmel. But Frieren doesn't resolve her regret and guilt by defeating a literal demon from her past. She has to grieve and relive that 1/100th of her life with another journey of rediscovery, so that she can better understand herself and the people around her. And I think it's really meaningful to have the land where souls rest be located at where they defeated the Demon King, because this allows her to retrace and relive those 10 years, because allowing her to revisit the places where her adventure took place allows her to recontextualize all of her memories, allowing the past and present to intersect so beautifully. And when she eventually arrives at the end of her second adventure, she'll be a completely different person, a person that could see her first adventure from a different perspective, because even if she couldn't talk to Himmel or Heiter again, in another way, she has already spent time with them again in her memories. And those memories will forever be hers. Because the best way to love those who are no longer with us is remembering. And the first thing for Frieren to remember is why she collects spells.
I've been wanting to ask, why do you collect spells in the first place?
It's a hobby, and a good one. I used to go through my life much more apathetically before finding it. But then came a fool who praised me for the magic I acquired.
And Frieren's hobby of collecting spells is given so much more meaning when we find out that it's because she was praised by the hero's party, because it is these minor spells that are able to create memorable experiences for her party, from creating shaved ice to making grapes more sour for Aizen.
Mine is grapes. The sourer, the better.
Frieren. I have a spell that creates a field of flowers. To tell you the truth, it's actually my favorite one. My parents taught it to me when I was a girl. It's what made me fall in love with magic.
Then I'd like you to teach it to me.
I think a lot of us probably have picked up a hobby as a way to connect with other people. And I personally like to think that Frieren was collecting these spells so that she could show them to Himmel and the others again. But just like a lot of things in life rarely unfolds as planned.
Frieren, I'd like to show you them someday.
Sure, if the chance arises.
Fern would sometimes ask her master why she does certain things, and she would often respond with,
I'm doing this for me.
because it's what Himmel would have done. It's a way for her to process her feelings and to revisit the adventure she once shared with her old friends. We see her actively adventuring the same way as if she was still in the hero's party, helping anyone in need. And as an immortal elf, Frieren grapples with the relentless march of time, realizing that the chapters she wishes to be a part of are already unfolding in front of her. Her desire to relive the past is symbolized by her wanting to admire the sunrise with Fern. This also highlights her growth in trying harder to experience things in the moment with the companions around her. At first, she doesn't get it, but after seeing Fern enjoying the sunrise, she starts smiling, and in that instant, she understood that she would have enjoyed it back then just because it was another moment with her companions, another memory to be made. It's not just another sunrise, it's a sunrise to be shared.
You feel like Merker pudding, right?
I'm sorry, Fern.
Frieren's guilt over her perceived lack of understanding of Fern is contrasted with Fern's appreciation for the mere effort behind her birthday present. In a way, Frieren feels like she is repeating the past again, but she is slowly changing. We see her actively try this time. Because her trying to be present with Fern is the best gift that her master could have given her. The show does this often. Something happening in the present will remind them of a memory, and we see a flashback contrasting their past and how they choose to live in the present. Through these moments of reflection and shared experiences, we see Frieren begin to grasp the essence of human connection and the impact of memories she made with other people. Just like real life, life-changing events can happen in a day, an hour can leave a lasting impact. And as an elf that has lived for over 1,000 years, Frieren learns that even 10 years, less than 1% of her life was able to leave a profound mark, because she now carries bits and pieces of her companions with her, whether she knows it or not. Something that Frieren picks up from her master is how she treats magic. Frieren states here that the greatest enjoyment of magic comes in its pursuit. It's about the experiences gained, the challenges faced, and the growth achieved along the way. In the sense, the journey itself becomes more significant than the destination. She already has this mindset when it comes to magic because of her master. And another small detail that I like is that Frieren started wearing her iconic earrings after her master's death. They are similar to the ones that her master wears, and it's like carrying a bit of her master into the future with her. A memento of her time as her student, something to remind her of her teacher. It's common for people to remember their lives based on key events, like that year in high school, that semester in uni, that time before someone important was gone. And it's way more important for an immortal elf like Frieren to have anchors in her memory, otherwise everything just blends together. And we see it clearly whenever they reach a new place. Time is now framed around how many years since Himmel's death. Because for Frieren, that is when she understood that time's arrow neither stands still nor reverses, it merely marches forward. She's trying to experience her adventure again. Even though Himmel is dead, his presence can still be felt around the world. All of the good that he has put out lingers in the collective minds of the places that they have been. It's like the town itself remembers him, and as long as they remember, his memory will live on in the world when Frieren revisits these places. It's those memories that are kept alive no matter the distance or time. But not everyone can remember as clearly as Frieren. The contrast between immortality and mortality is a central theme explored throughout the narrative. Frieren, immortal and ageless, traverses through the ebbs and flows of history, witnessing countless generations come and go like waves on a shore. But she's not the only one. Whenever Frieren interacts with another long-lived person like Kraft or Vol, it provides insight into the enduring nature of memory and companionship. Vo was the one who gave Frieren the idea to remember her companions to carry their memories into the future. So it was really sad to see Vo struggle to even remember his wife.
I can't remember. It's all gone now. Her face, her voice, the light I saw in her eyes. And yet, I continue. I protect the village as I swore I would, because it matters to me. I'm keeping a promise to someone the world has long forgotten. Through this act, I remember.
I've been meaning to say thank you. You gave me a reason to get to know Himmel and the others. Himmel is the reason I decided I'd get to know people at all.
We see that even if dwarves can live longer than humans, the passage of time still affects them in one way or another. No matter how much time has passed, even in the face of forgetfulness, despite his fading memories, those emotions, that love that he feels for his wife transcends time itself. Because his unwavering commitment to protect her village serves as a testament to the everlasting nature of love.
Through this act, I remember.
So even if the memories are foggy, his promise and those strong emotions can still be kept alive, no matter the distance in time. The significance of memory, both distant and recent, is a recurring theme. Two storylines, both past and present, can occur in the same episode, each one giving context to the other. Frieren doesn't dwell on her regrets by living in the past. Frieren instead decides to move forward into the future, creating new experiences and by forming new connections. And remembering the little moments that we share with people in the past is important, but that should never overshadow the moments that we create right now. And that sentiment is shown in sousounofrieren very clearly, and it's important for people to not dwell on the past but to use it to give the present more meaning. And Frieren learns to cherish the moments that define her journey and shape her understanding of both companionship and loss. She is nothing without her past, but she doesn't let her past define her or drag her down. So this is the part of the script I don't really know where to put in the video. But basically this is a tangent. I see a lot of people describing sousounofrieren as a sad show, and I think that is underselling it. Yes, sad stuff does happen in the first episode, but sousounofrieren is so much more. It's able to create so many emotions by just saying a few words. It's so minimalistic with its exposition when it comes to its more emotional parts. It's similar to Violet Evergarden, which shares the same music composer, Evan Call. And when it's showing scene A and saying dialogue B, naturally several different emotions just start flowing out. It's able to simultaneously invoke several layers of human emotions that can't be described with just a single word. And I think that's why it has a special place in my heart, just like Violet Evergarden. It's able to draw out so many obscure emotions that I'm not literate enough to spell it out. And hopefully you get what I'm trying to say, because no words can properly describe what I feel about sousounofrieren. Hey, so that's the end, but do expect to see 2 more sousounofrieren videos, air quotes, coming soon, because I started writing the script and realized that I couldn't fit everything into one single video, so I'm separating them into 2 other videos. They are still working titles, so hopefully I can find time to edit them before March. But do hit the notification bell if you want to see them when I eventually upload. And if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. I think that's it, so goodbye and stay alive.
Kill yourself.